Welcome everyone to another round of Curiosity Talks. Those of you who have been here before supporting me, Wisdom Circle, and the talks, thank you, and it's great to have you with us again. For those who are new to this segment, let me explain who we are and what we do. So, Wisdom Circle is a global platform connecting seasoned professionals and organizations by leveraging technology to foster meaningful and mutually beneficial partnerships. Curiosity Talks is just one in a bouquet of offerings that we bring to our community of more than 100,000 members. So, in my sessions, I have the privilege of hosting speakers like Kundan, who bring wisdom, information, knowledge, and unique perspectives on a variety of topics to all of you curious folks. Kundan Sen has had a life of variety and adventure in Bengal, Delhi, Chandigarh, and Bengaluru, as well as on foreign shores. He studied physics at St. Xavier's College in Kolkata and IIT Kharagpur. His career spanned years in computer hardware and software till 2018. He was an entrepreneur most of these years, running companies in Kolkata, Delhi, UK, and Bengaluru. Kundan is a teacher at heart, involved in educational technology for some time. He now spreads yoga through online courses and his YouTube channel, You Only Live Once, under the brand name Blue Diamond Yoga. Cycling, traveling, video creation, and other interests keep him very actively engaged. His Sanskrit awareness series on YouTube is the go-to place to appreciate traditional knowledge systems and understand how old Sanskrit scriptures are integrated into everyday life. So today, Kundan is going to take over and tell us more about all these aspects. Kundan, welcome to Curiosity Talks.
Thank you very much, Pati. Really a pleasure being with you.
Can you give us an example of what you are doing?
Yeah, sure. You see, I have started this video on Sanskrit because I realized during my studies of Sanskrit that there is a huge amount of information that is hiding in Sanskrit literature. And the first example that I will start with is on yoga, because that's where I started my exploration of Sanskrit. So you will see a yoga video, a meditation video, which is one of the best from what is called Vigyan Bhairav. A very powerful way to meditate, as given in Vigyan Bhairava. There are 112 meditation methods given. This is one of the most powerful. Pranavadi samucharat, glutante shunya bhavanat, shunyaya paraya shaktya, shunyatam eti bhairavi. Pranava adi samucharat. Pranava is the primordial sound. Om. Adi means other seed mantras. Samucharat, sama udcharat, meaning complete utterance. So this means from the full intonation of the Om and similar mantras, we will see example of Om sound. Plutante. Pluta means a prolonged vowel and ante means at the end. So plutante means at the end of the prolonged sound, by fully intoning Om or some other mantra, and at the end of the prolonged sound, pause the video here.
Yeah.
And just give the sound, the Om sound, which is basically consisting of three letters, A, U, and M. So I just give that sound so that you understand what is Om sound. This is the A sound that comes from the bottom. The second sound is Ooh. This sound comes from this region. And finally, So this sound comes from the head region, and when you end the sound, it ends like that. And then you run the video, then we can see the other part. Shunya Bhavanat. Shunya means void, emptiness. This is not zero. This is the emptiness of the cosmos. So Bhavanat, Bhavana means to contemplate. Bhavanat meaning through contemplation. So this means through contemplation of the void or through contemplation of the total emptiness. So after you finish that sound, Shunyaya Paraya Shaktya. Shunya means by the void, Paraya means supreme, and Shaktya means the power or the energy. So Shunya Paraya Shakta, by the supreme void-like power. Shunyatam eti. Shunyatam meaning the state of voidness, eti means attained. By fully intoning Om or some other mantra, and at the end of the prolonged sound, contemplating the void through that supreme void-like Shakti, one attains the state of Shunyata. All the best. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha.
So, which brings me to a very important question, Kundan. Why did you really start learning?
You see, when I was very unwell, when I kept closed my last company, I was so unwell that I was unable to get out of bed and all that. So I started practicing yoga for 3.5 hours every day. And I recovered after a few months. And that's when I realized the true value of yoga, though I had learned yoga from my guru when I was in school. So once I realized the value of yoga, and my guru's books has the reference of the original Sanskrit sutras. So then I wanted to read the original books, and that's when I got hold of all those original books along with my guru's books, and started reading and started exploring. And then I realized that when you read one book, there is a reference of another book. So one book leads to another, and that leads to another. Slowly, I realized that the treasure that is hiding in these books is enormous. It is not just in yoga; it is in so many fields that I had no knowledge about. That's when I got deep into it and started really exploring all these things. Some of which are not in my interest area, like Natya Shastra, but I still wanted to explore to see how far deep they have gone to discuss and explore each and everything. So that is how I started learning Sanskrit. And then later on, last year on my birthday, I decided that, okay, now that I have got this, I find that, it needs to be spread because most of us are unaware of these things. So 15th of November last year, I started a small campaign, a daily message. And then 1st of December, I started these videos. So this is how I actually got into this.
And what are the subjects that you have covered?
You see, there are many different books. So from one book or two books or three books, there are things like human character. What makes a human character? Then, there are things like practical life considerations. Because when we think of Sanskrit, a lot of time we hear Sanskrit only for the mantras that are chanted by the priests, which is primarily a religious situation. But Sanskrit has a whole lot of other things. So I looked at books on where the practical life suggestions are given. Then, of course, health, because health is the primary thing for which I started. Then there are a lot of moral teachings that are given, which, we all know we may not follow. Most of us do not follow most of those. But it is at least good to know that these things have already been prescribed. And if we follow, maybe life will be slightly better. Then I went into mathematics and science and architecture and technology, and also the fundamental of what is vidya, what is knowledge. So these are the areas that I have looked at so far.
And so you have a lot of videos. So what are the videos on human character? What do those videos say?
You may not be able to read it, but I'll help you. You see, you might be hearing this phrase called Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam.
particularly in view of, I am not giving any political statement, but I'm just saying that in view of the current focus of the government, a lot of people use this phrase as saying that we Indians believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Now, what is the original phrase? The original phrase does not contradict that, but it means something which is different. So the phrase is Ayam Nija Paroveti Ganana Lahu Chetasam Udara Charitanam tu Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. What it basically means is that Ayam Nija Paro, somebody who thinks of my and other, my team, my group, my people, and other people, other group. So, Ayam Nijo Paro Veti Ganana, this is done by Laghu Chetasam, people who have Laghu Chetana, meaning who are petty in mind. They will think of people as it is, my people or somebody else's people or against people and all that. However, Udara Charitanam, people who have a broad mind, for them, Vasudha is the earth. Vasudha comes from the root vasa, meaning where you stay. Dha means what holds where you stay. So our residence is held by the earth. So Vasudha means earth. Vasudha eva, meaning the whole of Vasudha. Kutumbakam. Kutumbakam means basically my relation, my family, my friend. So the phrase Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is only meant for people who are Udara Charitanam. So it is not meant for all Indians. It is meant for anybody anywhere in the world who have a broad mind. And we have petty-minded people all over the world. For them, Udara Charitanam is not their character. Their character is Laghu Chetasam. So they will always say mine and your and mine and your. So this is the basic, original phrase from which we picked up one small part and we are promoting it. So I thought it is important that we know the context of where that phrase has come from. Otherwise, we may feel that, I'm an Indian, the whole world is my family. That's not the case. So this is one of the things in character that I thought, that I will bring up.
Yeah. So of all the other subjects you have done, there is one, I think, on science. So can you give us an example of science?
Yeah, sure.
Like me to play that video?
1 minute. I will just explain something.
Sure.
You see, I studied science, you know that.
Water has.
And I have been studying water for the last few years because of various reasons. Because lots of people have told me lots of things. Water has memory, water does this, water does that. So when I heard all those, I started studying water. And before I heard all these things, water was something you drink, you take bath in and all. Then I realized that water not only has amazing properties, it is very, very uncommon. And it is because of some of those uncommon properties that water is what it is today, why we, say water is life. So in the video, I will give one example of how water is used, but then after the video is over, I'll tell you where science has not yet reached. This video explains water from one perspective where science has understood.
Water has strange properties that are crucial for us. One of them is reflected in this ancient verse. Apa punantu prithivim, prithivi puta punatu mam. Apa means waters. Punantu comes from the root pu, meaning to purify or cleanse. Punantu means may they purify. Prithivim, the earth. Puta means having been purified. Punatu, may she purify. Mam, me. So it means, may the waters purify the earth. May the purified earth purify me. So water is considered as a cleansing agent.
It cleans. Now, why does water clean? Water has a property that it can dissolve many substances. It is referred to as the universal solvent, though that is not strictly correct. When water comes in contact with the body, it dissolves a lot of the matter on the surface of the body becomes clean. This property is critically important inside our body, which is two-thirds water. Nutrients and waste products are transported by virtue of this property. We will see more such strange properties of water in subsequent videos. All the best. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah.
So there are two more videos that will come on water very clearly. One is a video on which we will discuss another property of water based on another sutra, and then I will bring out another property, another sutra, for which the scientific validation has not yet happened. So for these two sutras, we know the science behind it as of now. But for the third sutra that I will bring out and show, we have not yet understood the science behind it. But the sutra exists. And I am not saying I believe in that sutra because it is too esoteric to believe, and because science has not yet figured it out, I cannot experiment. But it is amazing to see the level of details where the sutra has gone. So two more videos will be there. One on the science we already know, and the one where science has not yet reached.
After seeing that interesting video on water, you had also mentioned that there are a lot of practical life lessons. So I was wondering whether we can discuss some of that.
Yeah, sure. Most important, actually.
Yeah.
So, I'll give you two examples. One is for an individual, and the other is for the state. So this is a video on how money is relevant to individuals. So Kautilya or Chanakya, in two different areas, he has said, Arthaiva Pradhan iti Kautilya, meaning Artha eva Pradhan iti Kautilya. Kautilya says that money is primary. So while we in our other studies may say, oh, money is not so important, moral, this, that, and the other. But Kautilya is a man who had to handle a state. He was the advisor, minister. So this is a very practical look at things. So he said money is most important. Whether you want to do good work, meaning you want to do charity, you want to donate, you want to help kids, orphan kids study, whatever you want to do, you need money. Plus, you also need money to run your own family. So money is primary, is what Kautilya says. And the second one, Artha Molo hi dharma kama viti, meaning money is the base or the root of your dharma and your kama. Dharma, as I said, you want to do charity, you want to help others, etc., etc. And kama means your own life, family life, where you will have your own, entertainment, pleasure, your family requirements. These are all kama. Kama is not just sex. Kama means, all the things that you have to do in your life. So money is the one at the root of your ability to perform dharma and perform your kama. So this is the advice that we got from Chanakya on individuals, meaning people who are grihi, who are domestic, who are not sant or monk. So for us, people who are grihi, money is important, and money is the basis for whatever you want to do. So this is one. Now, if we see the next slide, so this slide is talking about state, a country. So it says, suppose you have a neighboring country, and the neighboring country is doing good things to you and bad things to you. Or let us say you have one neighbor who does good things to you and another neighbor who does bad things to you. So it says, Krite pratikritim kuryat, himsena pratihimsanam, tatra dosho na patati, dushte daushayam samachare. What it means is, Krite pratikritim, If somebody has done a good deed to you, you please return that with a good deed. Krite pratikritim. And there is a detailed video on just these two words on why good deed begets good deed. So krite pratikritim kuryat, meaning if somebody has done a good deed to you, you return that at least with an equal good deed. Then it says himsena pratihimsanam. So if somebody is being violent to you, meaning to your country, we are talking about state, we are talking about country. If the country is attacking you with violence, then you have to respond with violence. So himsena pratihimsanam is very clear. It is the responsibility of the state to respond violence with violence. Tatra dosho na patati, I'll come to later. Dushte doshtayam samacharet. Somebody is being wicked to you, not sending guns and things, but acting smart and doing things under their thing, the way our neighbor is doing. You have every right to do the same thing back to them. So good people, you respond well. Bad people, you respond badly. So all these bad things that you do, tatra dosha na patati, meaning for your pratihimsa or your doshtam, you will not collect any kind of discredit. No dosa will fall on you. You will remain clean because this is your responsibility. This is the duty of a state to protect it from people, neighbors who are violent or neighbors who use trickery to create problems for you. So for the state, the situation is crystal clear in this, that you have to relate to other people the way they are. And you will find this being reflected in a number of people who are talking on these areas. It is being reflected. And in fact, today, even India government has demonstrated this. And the other wars that are going on, there also this kind of thing is going on. And if you look at the Krite Pratikritam, today our Prime Minister is in Israel. He is doing exactly that. When Israel has done a good job, good deed for us, we also did a good deed for us. So this is all valid today. And this is not only valid, this is very, very critical that we have this moral clarity that, yes, this is what I'm supposed to do. So when you hit somebody as a state to another state, you don't have to bother about the casualty. It is your responsibility to protect your people. So it gives you total clarity what you're supposed to do. And if you do this, you are not going to accrue any discredit or demerit. So these are, one for individual, one for the state. Give some example.
Yeah, thank you, Kundan. You are, of course, a yogic practitioner. So you must have found the key to good health. What would you say to that?
Yeah. Good health, of course, is very broad. But there is one sutra from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which actually sums it up. Before you get great health, it sums it up that where your good health will start. So if you can run that red book.
Moderation.
Yes, I will play that
32.
slide. Yeah, I will
Not
play
slide,
that.
it is a video.
Yeah, I'll play that video.
Yeah.
Before meditation. This single verse can reduce inevitable sufferings. Yukta hara biharasya, yukta cheshtasya karmasu, yukta swapna
The screen is
vabhodasya
white.
yogo bhavati dukhaha. Yukta comes from the root yuj, which means to regulate. Yukta means neither excess nor suppression, but intelligent regulation, that is, disciplined. Ahar means food, nourishment. Vihara means movement, recreation, activity. Cheshta means effort. Karmasu means of work. Swapna means sleep. Avabodha means wakefulness. Yoga means quietening of mental fluctuations as well as skillful and balanced action. Bhavati means becomes. Dukha comes from dukha meaning suffering and ha meaning to destroy. Dukha meaning destroyer of suffering. So this means for one who is moderate in food, activity, work, sleep and wakefulness, yoga becomes the destroyer of suffering. state of yoga is achieved, suffering loses its power. We understand yoga is not forced, it is born from right living. After this, difficulties may still exist, but mind is not dominated by suffering anymore. Isn't it great? You can't control what is not in your control, yet you can control your sufferings. All the best. Sarve.
So you may have to explain that, Kundan, because unfortunately,
Yeah.
I think with the
So this is actually a very powerful sutra from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It is saying that dukkha is there. We have sufferings on earth. And there are other streams of religion like Buddhism, where also it is accepted that suffering is existing. It is a part of life. And yet we have to live through it. We have to live with it. We have to know how to handle it. So it says that first of all, instead of changing the world, you change yourself. You ensure that you eat properly. You do, you walk around, you do your work properly. You, whatever effort you are putting in for achieving anything, you do it properly. And then you sleep properly. So what it means is that the word proper, yukta, yukta, you will see yukta, the word yukta so many times repeated, 5 times. So it means that we need to know what is that proper. In terms of food, what is proper? In terms of vihara, what is proper? In terms of karma cheshta, what is proper? So we need to have that awareness. We need to acquire that knowledge to discern which are the proper ways of living and then live that. Once we live that, once we are aware of all that is proper, and once we start living that, then in spite of sufferings attacking us, from whichever side it is, one or more sides, you will be able to handle that, and that will not suppress you. You will still remain yourself, and you will know how to take care of all those sufferings, provided you know how to live properly, which includes these 5 things: your ahara, vihara, cheshta, karmasu cheshta, swapna, and abodhari. So this is
think this
basically
might
the
be
theme.
this might be the right time to ask a question. Anup
Yes.
says he wants to know the second and third meaning of water that you mentioned. We will not be playing those videos, but I think if you can explain that, it will help.
Okay. So those videos are not yet made. I will be making them. But let me explain the second and the third. Second one will take a little time, so give me a little time. You see, there is a phrase called, we have read it hundreds of times. Water is life, and we know it from childhood that water is life. So now there are many dimensions of that statement. One dimension is that you can live without oxygen maybe for 2, 3, 4 minutes. After that, you die. You can live without water for maybe 1 hour, 2 hour, 1 day, 2 day, 10 days. After that, you die. So one is that we need water to maintain our body. Second thing is we need water. I mean, I'm leaving out the things like cleaning and all that. We need water to produce the food that we eat. So without water, food will not be produced. So even there, water is giving us life indirectly. The water is giving life to all the animal kingdom, because the animal kingdom is also dependent on the plant kingdom, which is coming through water. So all life is dependent on water. Now, if you go inside the sea or inside the river or pond, there also there is life, which is inside the water. But this phrase, this concept of water is life, is something way beyond that. This is to say that if water did not have a particular property, life itself will not exist. I'll explain that. So it is not about maintaining life. It is about creation of life. Life would not have got created if water did not have a particular property. We know that property. What is that property? We know that water, when it cools down, it becomes heavier and heavier like every other liquid. As you cool something, it becomes heavier because cooling means they come closer, so the density increases, so they become heavier. And in any liquid, the cool water will go down and the warm water will come up. That is how water works. Now, this property water has is at 4 degrees centigrade. At 4 degrees centigrade, the water is, becoming heavier, heavier, heavier. But from 4 degree to 0 degree, as the temperature is going down, the water is not becoming heavier anymore. It is now becoming lighter, which is a property that no other liquid has. No other liquid on earth or anywhere that we know of has that property, that instead of becoming heavier, it starts becoming lighter. So this is, and the second thing is, as it becomes lighter, at 0 degree it freezes and it becomes ice. And ice, because it is lighter than water, ice floats. So we have icebergs and this and that. Right. So this is the basic science. Now look at if this property did not exist. So what happens every year in a whole, huge areas of the ocean, particularly the extreme polar areas, it becomes cold and ice sheet forms. Some thick, some very thick, some very, very thick. So ice is forming on the ocean every winter. And it is floating. Underneath there is water. And at the bottommost part is the water at 4 degrees centigrade. Because 4 degrees centigrade is the heaviest. So that goes to the bottommost. So all aquatic life exists under the snow because water exists there at 4 degree and various others. But 4 degree is the heaviest, so that exists. Now, if this property was not there, what will happen? So every summer, sun heats up the ice starts melting, and slowly the ice melts and the water comes out again. And this cycle is going on for millions of years. Now, ice does not float. Consider this point. Ice does not float. Ice is heavier than water because all other material, when from liquid it becomes solid, it becomes heavier. So let us say water also has the same property. So ice will form on the top. It is heavier than water. It will go down to the bottom and sink. Next winter, again ice will form and that ice will sink. And it will not come up because it is heavier than water. So over a period of years, the top layer of water will keep getting converted to ice and keep sinking. Which means over a period of, 100 or 1,000 or million years, all the water in the oceans would have frozen because it will start collecting from the bottom and slowly everything will freeze. Which means what? There is no liquid water anywhere on earth. If there is no liquid water on earth, two things will happen. One, we know that life began in water. The first life from chemical to the smallest form was born in water. So that itself will not happen. And from that beginning of life form, we have evolved so many species and all that. So the first, that reaction in which chemicals got life, that itself will not happen. So we will not exist because life will not start only. So forget about drinking water and washing water and agriculture water. We will not even exist if water did not have this property of, from 4 degrees it starts becoming lighter and lighter. So this is why when we say water is life, this is the meaning of the phrase water is life, not drinking water. I mean, that is also there, but this is the fundamental meaning of that phrase that we generally, we don't consider that as a relevant thing. So this is the number one. Number two, science doesn't. So I will not explain it, but I will just tell you. It says that water, when we consume water, after some processing and all that, that water brings out a very subtle level of energy which becomes part of our prana. So from water, things will happen, and then that will get either integrated to our prana, or it will become prana, or it will become part of prana or something. So the sukshma rasa from the water will merge with prana, and so there, I don't know how it is going to happen when science will understand it. And these are the things, let me tell you, on your own you cannot explain all these things, because these statements were given by rishis who had revelations. We don't have those. So we can only understand things from the basis of our current knowledge of science. So up to that extent, this particular sutra I cannot explain. But I know that someday, I mean, I don't know, but I'm hopeful that someday even this sutra will also be explained by science or understood by science. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I think so. I hope the question was answered. And in the scriptures, Kundan, you have also found something about mathematics.
Yeah. Okay. Mathematics. There are two things I'll explain to you. You see, there are videos. You can see later on. I have given two videos, one on zero and one on infinity, which are the two extremes of our number system. And both have been given by Sanskrit sutras, both zero and infinity. But I'm not discussing that right now. Right now, I'm going to discuss what is called the establishment of decimal number system. So that decimal number system was established by Aryabhata with this particular small line. It says sthanat sthanam dashagonyam syat. Sthanat sthanam dashagonam syat. Meaning, when you go from one place to another, it becomes 10 times. So sthanat, from one place you go to the other, sthanam dashagonam. And this is the foundation of the decimal number system. And our decimal number system, even today, is way beyond what the Western decimal number system has achieved, even today. So I'll give you another example. I'll give you an additional example. So we know 10 to the power 2 means 100, 10 to the power 3 means 1000, and 4 and 5 and 6 and all that. So we know 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakhs, 1 crore. These numbers we know. And for 10 lakhs and 10,000 also we have number. 10,000 is Ayuta and 10 lakh is Niyuta. So for those also we have names. So we don't say 10 lakhs and 10,000. We say, Ayuta and Niyuta. So up to 10 to the power 7, up to crore, we understand. But let me take you to the next slide, which is, can you give the next slide? Yeah. Now, here It is starting from 10 to the power 8. Up to 10 to the power 7, I am not discussing. From 10 to the power 8, let me just make this a little bigger in my this thing, so that I can see it properly. I should have kept it open. My mistake. Yeah. So we have names for these numbers, like 10 to the power 8 is called Arbudam. 10 to the power 9, which is a billion, we have a name called Abja. So Arbud, Abja, Karva, Nikarva, Mahapadma, Shankha, Jaladhi, Antyam, Madhyam, and Parartha. These are the names. I'll give you a brief explanation. You see, these names have been given. So each one of these 10 to the powers has a name. So which we understood, centuries ago or maybe thousands of years ago. So what is the meaning of the name? Let's say 10 billion, which is 10 to the power 10. The name given is, it's an overwhelming size. It's very, very big size, 10 to the power 10. 100 trillion, 10 to the power 14, it says Jaladhi. Jaladhi means ocean, so innumerable. So it is giving you a feel that 100 trillion is such a number that is very difficult to calculate. 10 to the power 15, the next number. This is the most interesting number. It says 10 to the power 15 is the Antya, meaning this is the last number that we human beings within our known universe we should be concerned with. So it's the last number, Antya. But after that there are numbers. So what it's saying is that 10 to the power 16 is called Madhyam, and 10 to the power 17 is called Parardha. Let me explain these two. So up to 10 to the power 17, we said this is the end of my numbering system. Antya, Anta has reached. Then it says there is something called Madhyama, which is the next higher number. And beyond that Madhyama is Parardha, the other half. So there is another half, but we are staying up to 10 to the power 17, 10 to the power 15. But we know there is a number which one step above called Madhya, which basically divides the number system into two parts. And beyond that is Parardha, which is 10 to the power 17. And Parardha is called a half Parardha. 10 to the power 18 is called a full Parardha. So the number system goes up to 10 to the power 18. And because we have given them names and meaningful names, we definitely had an understanding of what these numbers did. To give you an example, these numbers have some meaning. 10 to the power 18, the Purna Parardha, typically if you count the number of sands on all the beaches in the world, that count will probably come to 10 to the power 18. Or if you count the number of atoms in 1 grain of salt, the number of atoms could be in that range of 10 to the power 18. So these numbers have relevance. These numbers are not just very big numbers, they have relevance. And there are some numbers today we know which are much bigger than this, because now the cosmos we have understood a lot more. But what is interesting is, in spite of all this 10 to the power 17 and this and that, Rishis have said that the biggest number possible is 10 to the power 63. Beyond that, numbers are not possible. Why they have said that? There is a justification. And so I will definitely make a video on that. Because we've explained why 10 to the power 16 is the biggest number. After that, you cannot go. I mean, you can write 10 to the power 64. say 65, you can write anything, but that number will not have any relevance or value. So that they have said that 10 to the power 63 is the number which is the ultimate number. And it has a lot of relevance in terms of understanding the beginning of the universe, the cosmos, and astronomy and cosmology. So it has a lot of relevance. So I'm definitely going to make a big video on that. So on numbers, we started the zero. We gave zero. There is a video on that. We gave infinity. There's a video on that. And we gave everything in between. In the decimal number system, we gave everything in between. So the complete number system, after that decimal system was given by Aryabhatta, the whole world of mathematics changed. Before that, when the zero was given by Brahmagupta, then also the whole world of mathematics changed, because before that, zero was not a number, it was just a placeholder. So he initiated number. So please watch those two videos, one on infinity, one on zero. You will get total clarity as to how powerfully these two sutras, just two sutras, how powerfully they have changed the world. Because without that zero, today space travel or computer will not work, because they all work on this zero. So this is what I wanted to bring out, how powerful things we have given in mathematics.
That's a lot for us to grasp and understand, those of us who don't know Sanskrit. But I thought we have 10 minutes left, Kundan. I thought we can quickly get some questions. If the audience has a few questions to ask you, I thought we could throw the floor open. I'm sure there are people who want to ask. So before I go to the last one or two questions, I thought maybe we can engage in some conversation.
Hi, Kundanji, this is Sanjay.
Hi.
I've also started exploring Sanskrit to understand some of the basic scriptures. What is a good website or source to really learn Sanskrit?
You see, there are two parts. What I am doing, I am not learning Sanskrit to learn the language. I am exploring Sanskrit literature of areas that I am interested in, and then only for those I am learning. So you have to first decide whether you want to learn Sanskrit to learn the language of, let's say, spoken Sanskrit, Sanskrit as in literature and all that. So for that, there are classes. There is Sanskrit Bharati, who run beautiful classes. I have attended some classes. They're very good free classes. And they teach, they have a center in Bangalore. I'm sure they have centers other places. So that is one.
No, I want the way you are doing it is, I want, like, I'm reading Bhagavad Gita and trying to break the words and sandhi. So exactly as you are saying that, how do you understand so what is your method to understand the language?
Very good. So I'll tell you the problem that I had where I got into this. So in yoga, also the sutras that I was reading, I was finding it difficult to figure out. And same sutra in 2 or 3 different books, the interpretations are slightly different.
Yes.
But though they are slightly different, to me, to practice it, it said that either I do this or I do that. I cannot do both, because even though the difference is slight, but it's a major impact on me. So I realized that I cannot depend on those interpretations fully. So then how I started, I'll tell you. So I took all the interpretations that I could. So for every subject, like Hatha Yoga Pradipika, I have 2-3 books. For Gheranda Samhita, I have 2-3 books. My own guru's references are there. So I take all the interpretations from all the sources that I can get, and online also I can ask a question and get. And then from those 3-4 interpretations, I try to break the sandhis and words. Once I have broken it up, you see, for an Indian who knows at least one Indian language, once you have broken it up correctly, understanding the words are not difficult because most of those words we know. Then, once you have figured out the words, I mean, you have broken it up and figured out the words, then comes the most important thing, which is how to interpret without knowing the grammar.
Yes, yes.
That's the most difficult thing. So there, grammar, you don't have to really know all the forms and karak and vibhakti for only that word where the sandhi is there or where, then you go to a dictionary.
Yes.
There are Sanskrit dictionaries available. Then you go to the dictionary and you get that word, get that flavor. Then you put back 2, 3, 4, 5 different words that you had confusion, put it back, and slowly the meaning will start coming to you. Once it comes to you, then you cross-check with whatever you already have, from other people, and then you will get a very clear picture. So this is what I have done because that was my difficulty, and I'm not going to learn Sanskrit to speak.
Okay. So Kundanji, I am following exactly the same method for Gita, Bhagavad Gita, not you. Same, taking out the word, rereading it, interpreting it, breaking the sandhi. So I am glad that our thoughts are convergent. Thank you.
Very good. I am really happy that there are two of us doing the same job.
Yes,
and you might want to actually share whatever you're learning the way I'm sharing. You might someday decide to share what you're learning so that everybody else is benefited.
Yes, I have gone 6 chapters of Gita, but my understanding has slowly improved with each chapter. And once I'm done, maybe in a year's time, I will come back.
But one more thing I'll tell you. When you read Gita, after 1 year, suppose you are going very slowly and reading chapter by chapter. You come back to chapter 3 after 1 year. You read again. You will definitely get a different meaning.
Yes.
And that is where your actual understanding will happen. Because the first time what you have done a very basic job. Because you don't have the context.
Yep.
Once you have gone through the whole book, then you have got the context. Now each phrase will actually give you a different flavor, a different meaning. That is why it's very important that instead of just picking that verse, you overall try to understand the context, then each verse will have a different meaning. So
absolutely.
My best wishes to you.
Thank you.
You're doing a great job. My best wishes.
Sir, Dr. Madhavan from Hyderabad, I have seen your this one. It's a very interesting insights into Sanskrit. But from the literary pursuit point of view, from the Sanskrit as a literary pursuit or Sanskrit as a connoisseur's delight, people have translated Raghuvamsha Vimarsanam and Meghaduta, this Raghuvamsha Vimarsanam and Megha Sandesham, and works like that, very early part of the 19th century, and they have done this as a literary pursuit. So what do you feel about such things? Of course, the origin in yoga and origin in science and the origin in tarka, logic, gives a strong ground to Sanskrit. But beyond that, what do you feel about these aspects of Sanskrit?
Very good. Okay. Now, like I mentioned, though Natya Shastra is not my area of interest, but I'm still going to read it because I want to explore what it has written. So when you talk about literature in Sanskrit, literature meaning even the science books are also Sanskrit literature. But when you take out the pure literature, I personally do not have an interest in exploring that because my primary interest is that there are hidden gems in the science, archaeology, astronomy, architecture, health, all these areas which to me are primary. So I am going to try to explore those areas. And there is no way I can even explore one single book in the life that I have left, because the situation is so vast. So I will leave it to somebody else to explore, let's say, Kumar Sambhavam or Shakuntalam. So I'm very happy if somebody does it. I will not do it, but I will definitely work a little bit on Natya Shastra, because it brings practical things to life. So
Yes,
I'm very happy when Kalidas says that, that bird, that blue bird that is released after Durga Puja, he goes to this thing as a messenger
yes,
to Himalaya. So all that is very nice, but
yes,
that's not my area of interest.
yes, sir.
So you want to do that, I'm very happy. And maybe once you do that, I will read it. Then I'll get more interest. Because
Thank you, sir.
for me
Actually,
to comprehend that, I don't have that much time. I don't know how many years I can do this. So I don't have that much time to explore everything.
yes,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you
Kundanji,
very much. I just
Kundanji, I'm Rajesh Kundra, and
Hi, Rajesh.
thank you very much. I think that's been very insightful and very deeply understanding I can make out, because I'm also on similar lines.
Very good.
I'm doing on Gita, like the gentleman Sanjay ji brought out, on Gita as well as on Patanjali Yoga Sutra. And my actually field is to work out behavioral science. What is that actually? And the more I'm learning and getting deeper into it, uh, that plus neuroplasticity, the neuroscience, is so well coordinated and correlated that it's surprising. And that is what my research is. I'm doing my PhD on that. That's the reason I enrolled myself. I'm doing my PhD, and that's where I'm working on gunas and gunas correlation with your trigunas, correlation with your brain waves. Now that's coming up very beautiful, and very getting close to understanding something. But thank you very much, and I'm so glad that you are doing this, because this side of the field is phenomenally, with abundant knowledge. But people like you who are getting down and bringing it up, it'll be great. Because what I'm doing, I've wrote a few articles. I've gone to US and in New York, I happened to stumble upon Cornell University, and there we had a discussion. I gave one presentation, and they were. I find the Westerners are more inclined to understand this side of it than we Indians as are. So I'm very glad that you're doing it, and I've written one article. If you want, I can share that thing. It's basically Gita neuroscience,
Please.
and that's where the chapter where he says Krishna is telling Arjuna ki anger leads to delusionment, disillusionment leads to loss of thing, and ultimately you lose. Now that chain is beautifully explained. It had the absolute 100% correlation in neuroscience, how it comes, how your prefrontal cortex goes and all. So it's so beautiful. I'm so glad, and thank you to Swatiji that getting such great people to speak, and this is the way to go ahead. And thank you. You really made my evening today, and you've really added value. Thank you very much.
General Saab, I have one request to you. The area that you're working on is one of the most critical areas today, because we keep talking about meditation, and there are hundreds of meditation centers. And I am a little hurt that we allow these meditation centers or meditation things to happen, which are actually, I can see, damaging people's neurological state. Now, what you are doing, I am really happy that you are doing it. Please share with all of us. Every time you come out with something, an article or a blog or something, I'll be very happy to receive that. And once your PhD thesis is done, I would really appreciate if I can get a look at that.
Absolutely, it'll be an
General
honor.
sir, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all the wonderful interaction. We are over the time, but I'm going to quickly run through the last few questions, Kundan. We are interested to know what you're working on now.
Okay. So You see, I'll be focusing from now on more on science, technology areas where there are practical applications. For instance, we have a Vastu Shastra which is highly denigrated. People say Vastu is false, Vastu is useless, Vastu is junk. And there is a reason, good reason. The current state of the knowledge of Vastu, I totally agree, is junk. But the Vastu Vidya is not junk. It is unbelievably powerful. So I want to work in an area which is where there is a practical application that has already been done, and then bring out that science. So like that, so that is architecture. Similarly, mathematical sciences, cosmology, and astrology, physics. So there are many such areas where which are in the science and in the quantitative area. So I want to basically focus on that, but I want to continue my focus on health because that is where I started, and that I feel. In fact, there is a video also that if there is no health, there is nothing. Like Chanakya said, money is the most important thing, which is true, provided you have a health to do your job. If you don't have health, so for me, health is primary, money is number two, and so health I will continue, and I will work in these areas, science, technology, architecture, and slowly I will go a little deeper into other areas like Surya Siddhanta is an amazing book, amazing, unbelievable. So astronomy. So I will go deeper and deeper and deeper into these kind of areas, and the moral part of it, which the scriptures are full of. Every morning I'm sure you also get good morning messages with lots of moral values. And I don't know how many of us read that or internalize that or think about that. So I want to slowly move away from that and give hard facts. Because, between you and me, we know what is right, what is wrong.
Right.
Whether we want to follow that or not, that's a different issue, but we know it. So I want to slowly move out of that because it is known and not obeyed, but want to move into areas where there will be practical benefits. This is what I am thinking that I will be doing.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kundan. I'm sure that's going to help a lot of us. First of all, we've spent this wonderful hour getting to know so many aspects of this traditional knowledge system, which is so beneficial, and yet we are not looking at it enough. So I want to thank you for that, for taking this hour and being with us today. I have shared your number on the chat, as well as I had put in a link to the Sanskrit Awareness series. So I would urge all of you to please go there. You can just go to YouTube and type Sanskrit Awareness series also, and you will be able to see all the videos. Kundan, how many videos are there till now?
About 45 or so.
Yeah, so there are 45 videos on a variety of topics, subjects, and aspects. So those of you here who are interested in this may please go and have a look at it. And I hope that, Kundan, we can invite you back for your third session on Curiosity Talks in the future for more interesting topics like this. Thank you very much, and thank you
Just one
everyone for
point.
being here. Yes.
Swati, one point.
Yes.
You will not get Sanskrit Awareness series directly in YouTube.
Okay.
So one option is that you go to the channel called @Blue Diamond Yoga.
Okay.
Then you will see all the playlists. Then you can click on Sanskrit Awareness series. The other option is the link that I have given that will take you directly to that particular playlist.
Yeah, so I had shared the link in the chat, but for those who are not aware, I will also send an email blast to everybody after this session, and then they can access it directly. Yeah.
Swati, thank you very much.
Thank you, Kundan.
I really appreciate your acknowledgement of the work that I'm doing for the last 3 months. So I am really thankful to you and all the participants who have come. I'm really thankful to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.